Right now at 5, a tractor trailer carrying 30,000 pounds of coffee creamer overturns in Seneca, Missouri.
That's not a good way to start Friday, and the weather, though, a good way to start a Friday. It's going to be warm. It's going to be breezy initially, then the winds calm down. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Trump takes Santa calls from Mar-a-Lago, but one 4-year-old has a special request.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KLAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Friday, December 26th. Hopefully everybody had a good Christmas. We were talking, I know you said you had a pretty good one.
And you said you did as well?
Yes, yeah. It did not feel like Christmas, though. That was the hardest part. It was so difficult to really get into the full festive holiday spirit because it was 80 degrees outside almost. You know, we technically had a heat index yesterday. It was only a couple of degrees, but still a heat index on Christmas.
Yeah, I made the mistake of, I didn't wear a sweater because I knew it was going to be too hot.
Yes.
But I still wore a long sleeve shirt because most of my Christmas shirts are, sweaters are long sleeves. So I'm like, I'll compromise. And I still was like, no, it is too hot.
It was. I went out in shorts and a t-shirt, and it just did not feel right at all. Don't get me wrong. Once you were inside, you're doing the presents, kids are doing stuff. It felt like Christmas. But any point outside of that, man, it's just way too warm, and it is going to continue to be way too warm. In fact, yesterday we broke our record high, which I will tell you in a moment. But first, a live look from downtown Pittsburgh. Things looking good. We've got clear skies overhead. I wrote it down. That's why I had to tell you later because I didn't have that paper with me. Okay, so record high originally yesterday was 72. Set back in 2016. The official recorded high, in Joplin at least, was 79 degrees. I'll just let that sink in for a sec. 79 degrees. It's ridiculous. And it's going to be warm, not as warm necessarily today, but still warm out there. 7th and range line, that camera is looking a bit out of focus. But I'm telling you, for the last couple of weeks, I've not been able to get that thing to focus right at all. So I might have to go up there and shake it around a little bit. KDOT camera, 69-400, looking good. And the MoDOT camera, 20th and range line. Of course, looking good. We do have some patchy, dense fog out there, though. Once again, across parts of southeast Kansas, Iola, Chanute, Independence, significantly reduced visibilities, and of course that stretches around that. So Fredonia, Sedan, Yates Center, Parsons, even into the Fort Scott region, parts of Nowata as well. So slow down, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them. Always keep those handy. And just be prepared for rapidly changing visibilities as well. 63 in Joplin, 61 in Pittsburgh. And we do have some slightly cooler air off to the north and west. These temperatures obviously a little lower. We've got some upper 40s. 48 is the cold spot there in the Odyssey. But bear in mind, this is still warmer than our average high. So yeah, you may be cooler, but you're still warmer than where we should be for a high temperature. You head further south and east, though, and it is much warmer, low mid 60s out there. Future track, we have some gusty winds, a little bit of gusty winds this morning, nothing significant. And here in the next hour or so, those winds should become calm, and it's going to be a pretty quiet day. We'll have just a few passing clouds here and there, not much else to talk about for Friday. So if you're heading back to work, or if you're, whatever the case may be, maybe you're off and you've got a few things you want to do, you just want to go sit outside. Another great day to do it. We're going to the low 60s by night, about 70 by noon, low to mid 70s for our highs today. This warm weather continues into Sunday, and then Sunday, Mother Nature is going to remind us, albeit briefly, that it is still winter time. We'll talk about the big temperature drop on the way here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A tractor trailer overturns in Seneca, Missouri, carrying 30,000 pounds of coffee creamer. Late last night, authorities responded to reports of the rollover on Missouri 43. The vehicle dropped tires off the right side and overturned when trying to get back on the road. The driver was not injured, and Missouri 43 will be closed until further notice. Our stories are often discovered by you, our viewers. We invite you to share your news tips with us. Scan the QR code and you'll be taken to a form where you can submit a tip quickly and easily. Thank you for being a part of the story. Well, it was a Christmas Eve phone call like no other for one Sapula, Oklahoma girl. On Christmas Eve, President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump took a moment from their holiday to answer calls from children tracking Santa Claus through NORAD. From Mar-a-Lago, the president spent about 30 minutes speaking with young callers across the country. On the calls, Trump reassured children that Santa is on his way and spreading joy, but a 4-year-old Oklahoma girl had a special request. Well, as families gather across the 4 states to celebrate Christmas, a special community dinner in Neosho brings hundreds of people together on Christmas Day, serving up more than just a meal. It's a heartfelt tradition of giving and support. Blake Goley has all the tasty details.
As families across the 4 states gathered to celebrate Christmas, residents in and around Neosho came together for a Christmas Day community dinner.
We need to remember what Christmas is about. We're servants. We're supposed to serve one another. We're supposed to help other people. I mean, the presents are fine, but what's the present about? It's about giving. And so here we are giving to the community, helping people out that they don't have anywhere to go this Christmas.
Behind every plate served, it's months of preparation. Organizers say planning begins 3 weeks after Christmas, and it takes a village of volunteers to ensure this Christmas dinner happens each year.
Here in 3 weeks, we'll have the organizational meeting where all these people now come together. We have a meal, we sit down, and we plan for next year. There's a lot of folks that just walk in the door and bring their families and said, hey, we've had our Christmas, how can we help?
For the Henry family, opening gifts on Christmas Eve is tradition, but so is giving back, volunteering at the community Christmas dinner year after year.
Every year for the past probably 7 years, my family's been volunteering here on Christmas Day just to serve those in the community. We see a lot of homebound people that are lonely, a lot of people that have lost their loved ones that spend the holidays with me, so it's very important for us.
A day of giving back, one plate at a time. Reporting in Neosho, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
The Community Christmas has now been serving Neosho for 25 years, and organizers say they plan to keep the tradition going for years to come. In addition to dining in, volunteers delivered more than 250 meals. Well, a funeral director and an office worker just scored millions of social media fans. Their strategy catches the eye of Michael Bublé and major brands. Find out how they did it.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
It all started with a Sam Smith song and a dream. Alfonso Foster and Mario Love took the Quit Your Job social media challenge and gave it a twist.
How can we stand out from everyone else doing it?
Alfonso is a funeral director by day. Mario works as an administrative assistant. But together, they've created a brand built on being authentically and hilariously loud.
When I sing, I do like, ooh, like just to be annoying. And people like noticed it and loved it.
When I first met him, he would make this noise like, and I'm like, it sounds good, but it's also like, it don't sound good at the same time.
More than 4.5 million likes later, they're now getting the attention of the industry's biggest stars.
We actually did a Kehlani song. We did her song called Folded, probably like one of her most recent songs. Did her song, she reposted us, she commented, she liked, and she loved it.
Big people like Michael Bublé is noticing this and seeing this. You know, he told us how much he loves it and it makes him laugh. Like, we're really onto something here. Like, let's keep going.
Even major brands are weighing in. Tide commenting, some clean vocals right here. JCPenney Portraits, do you guys do corporate holiday parties?
Let it snow, let it snow.
We don't do cuts and edits. We just...
All our videos are one take.
So are you going to quit your day job?
Absolutely, yes.
You think so?
Yes.
We want to.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, that is the goal.
But for now, they say the greatest reward is the inbox full of messages from people gaining new reasons to smile.
The takeaway, I feel like, is joy.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. President Trump describes, quote, numerous perfect strikes against ISIS militants in Nigeria who have been targeting Christians. Plus, diss tracks and demon hunters dominated 2025 entertainment as the year delivered memorable moments. Discover the major stories that made this an unforgettable year. And warm and sunny conditions with temperatures dropping going into next week. Chris has the look at your weekend forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, President Trump has announced that the U.S. has launched, quote, powerful and deadly strikes against Islamic State forces in Nigeria. He said the strikes were launched against, quote, terrorist scum who have been viciously killing primarily innocent Christians. CBS's Kamal Afalzi is following the story from London.
Numerous perfect strikes were the only words the president used to describe US military action against Islamic State militants in Nigeria late Thursday. This unclassified video by the Department of Defense came after a post on Trump's Truth Social. The strike targeted ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians, he wrote. Video shot in northwest Nigeria's Sokoto state appears to show locals holding metal debris, part of a projectile, and a fire burning in the background. US African Command said that strikes were carried out in coordination with Nigerian authorities, a point echoed by Nigeria's foreign ministry in a statement acknowledging the strikes.
They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers.
The Trump administration has for months highlighted the alleged persecution of Christians in Nigeria, but experts say both Christians and Muslims have suffered at the hands of extremist groups in the West African country. The military action in Nigeria came as Ukraine marked Christmas, counting its dead and injured following overnight strikes that began on Christmas Eve. But Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky tried to keep the momentum on peace talks, speaking for nearly an hour with US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and the president's son-in-law Jared Kushner. May today's conversation become another step toward peace, Zelensky said in a statement. Kamal Afzali, CBS News, London.
There's been no comment from the White House on that conversation, but according to Zelensky, it yielded, quote, new ideas for meetings and timings on how to bring a real peace closer. On Tuesday, he shared details of an updated 20-point peace plan agreed on by American and Ukrainian negotiators in Florida. And this morning on X, he said he agreed on a meeting with President Trump, writing, quote, a lot can be decided before the new year. Well, still to come, as veterans battle hidden brain injuries, we look at a program that helps them heal. Plus, warm and sunny conditions with temperatures dropping going into next week. Chris has a look at your Friday forecast. From diss tracks to demon hunters, 2025 set the stage for an unforgettable year. Gwen Baumgarten looks back at some of the major entertainment stories.
They not like us. They not like us. Kendrick Lamar kicked off 2025 with 5 Grammy wins, including Song and Record of the Year for Not Like Us. And only a week later, headlining the Super Bowl halftime show with a musical performance surrounded by social commentary.
Oh, look at these two.
It wasn't the music that made this Coldplay concert unforgettable.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
This Jumbotron moment went viral, sparking parodies, memes, and the pair's job resignations. At the Oscars, indie film Anora walked away with 5 awards, including Best Picture. And at the Emmys, Apple TV's The Studio received 13 wins, setting a record for most wins by a comedy series in a single season. Jimmy Kimmel was temporarily out of a job when ABC suspended him following a monologue about the murder of Charlie Kirk. The decision prompted protests and discourse about free speech. Adding to the late-night shakeup,
the network will be ending The Late Show in May. And
Stephen Colbert announced his decade-running show on CBS was coming to an end. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs was convicted on prostitution charges and sentenced to 50 months in jail following a trial that spanned several weeks. And the legal battle continues for It Ends With Us co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Lively accused Baldoni of sexual harassment. He hit back with a lawsuit claiming defamation and extortion. Baldoni's lawsuit was dismissed. Memorials continue to grow following the shocking death of Rob Reiner, the decorated director and actor, along with his wife Michelle, killed in their Los Angeles home.
I want to tell you how the world lost its mind with grief the day you died.
This was part of a tribute to Diane Keaton as the world said goodbye to several Hollywood legends in 2025. Actors Robert Redford, Gene Hackman, Malcolm Jamal Warner, and the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne.
They're stealing the souls of our fans?
K-pop Demon Hunters hit a high note on Netflix, becoming the site's most streamed movie ever. At the domestic box office, the Minecraft movie had the year's biggest opening weekend, pulling in more than $162 million. Billionaires headed down the aisle in 2025. Jeff Bezos wed Lauren Sanchez in Venice. Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco had an intimate ceremony in California. Taylor Swift also got her love story. The singing superstar became engaged to NFL boyfriend Travis Kelce in August. Her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, became the fastest-selling album in history. Those are some of the year's top entertainment stories. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
It's crazy to think all of that has happened in just this year. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
It certainly has been a wild year, and our weather certainly being wild as we start to wrap up the year with record highs over the last few days. But a big cool down is on the way. Details when we come back. By time now is 5:20. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:22 now on this Friday morning here in the 4 states, and we are starting with the fog tracker. And you can see we do have some dense fog out there once again into parts of southeastern Kansas. So Fredonia, Chanute, Independence, as well as Parsons and Yates Center, reduced visibility. Same Iola, Sedan, Nowata, slightly reduced to just about 5.5 miles there, 6.5 in Nowata. So again, if you're traveling out west, you're heading parts of southeast Kansas, far northeastern Oklahoma, be prepared for that dense fog. Remember to slow down. Use your low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them. Now today, the biggest change we have is the winds will become calm, which will be a nice break because it's been pretty breezy lately. Outside of that, still very warm temperatures, just a few clouds here and there. Now as we go overnight, we start to go partly cloudy. South winds pick up just a smidge at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. However, those winds will increase through the morning on our Saturday and start gusting upwards of about 25 miles an hour, and we'll start to go mostly cloudy. Now I think Future Track is getting a little early on some shower chances. I can't rule out a sprinkle or two tomorrow during the day, but not looking very likely. However, an isolated shower storm a little later in the evening is possible, mainly into our northern counties, but whatever we see will be very isolated, very brief as well, is the expectation. It's Sunday. Sunday we want to watch because Sunday it's going to change, and it's going to change big for us. We're looking again at mostly cloudy skies, a couple of sprinkles possible early in the day, but then we have an approaching cold front, and here it is. And so what we're looking at is thunderstorm development with this front, showers and thunderstorms out there. Depending on how it all comes together, we could get a couple of strong storms, which I'll show you that in a moment. But here's the front, and this is why we want to keep an eye on, because the front is now down here, and we've got shower and thunderstorm activity behind it. But as you see, as we go into the afternoon and evening hours, we get a few more of these showers and storms, and you see these reds and oranges. That's where we could get a strong storm or two. You see this pink business here? In a moment, you're going to see some blue business as well late Sunday evening. It is not out of the realm of possibility right now. While the chances, I know it looks like a lot, but you have to remember how this thing works. While the chances are low, we could see a brief wintry mix or maybe some light snow behind this front because temperatures are going to plummet behind this front as we get into Sunday evening. So that's what we want to be watching for. So here's what we've got. Again, tomorrow, it's an isolated chance, could get a rumble of thunder out there, but not very likely. And then tomorrow, I didn't change that, I'm sorry. It's supposed to be Sunday. Like I said, there's so many things you have to type by hand. It's barely clipping us, but there's that level 1 out of 5 risk, which jives again with what we just saw in Future Track for some thunderstorm chances. So not worried too much by Sunday in terms of severe weather, or worried too much about wintry weather, but those temperatures are going to plummet from the 70s into the 20s, and they're going to do so pretty quickly behind that front as well. For today, though, no 20s, no snow, nothing like that. 60 to start, about 67 by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs low mid-70s, mid-70s tomorrow, early highs on Sunday into the low 70s and upper 60s. Temperatures drop by the afternoon, let's say about 3-4 o'clock, depending on where you are behind that front. Your temperatures are very likely going to already be into the 30s. We're down into the 20s Sunday night into Monday, and with Monday only being about the freezing mark, we want to watch any rain that we get or any light wintry precipitation we get could lead to some slick spots from Sunday night into Monday. So we want to keep that in mind for that Monday morning commute. Excuse me. After that, though, like I said, it's a brief cool down. We're chilly on Tuesday, low 40s, and then we're back into the low to mid 50s. So not as warm as where we have been, but definitely warmer than normal again next week with a few showers possible next Saturday. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, many veterans suffer from a variety of lingering health issues. Providing comprehensive care for veterans and first responders with traumatic brain injuries is critical. Stephanie Stahl introduces us to a veteran who is grateful for his treatment.
Scott Edgell, back at the place he says restored his life, now helping others at Jefferson's Moss Rehab Institute for Brain Health.
Hello, how you doing, brother? Nice to see you again.
This is where veterans and first responders with brain injuries come for an intense 3-week program.
There is help, there's hope,
and there's happiness. And they're the three things I had none of when I walked in that door.
His brain injury happened back in 1989 when he was in the Army.
We were doing a military training exercise in Fort Riley, Kansas, and the tank I was riding in went into a ditch, and the hatch swung shut and hit me right in the backside of my head.
Scott says he recovered from the concussion and went on to become an electronic engineer. Decades later, he started getting symptoms again.
It was almost like I just had my accident. Dizzy, very, very dizzy. Balance issues. I have a lot of visual problems.
And he was also overwhelmed with anxiety and depression.
I was broken and down and out when I walked in the door.
Art therapy is among many of the treatments he received here, along with physical and cognitive therapy.
They gave me the ability to rebuild my life and get a life back.
This is big in treating veterans with PTS.
Operations Director Kate O'Rourke says masks made during art therapy give the patients a way to express feelings they might not be able to articulate. All the treatments here are tailored specifically for the unique issues faced by first responders with brain injuries.
It's been life transforming for so many and as well as their families.
Scott's therapy also included getting a service dog, Lars.
He has turned my life around.
Now he's dedicated to helping others learn how to overcome brain injuries. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, a rival barbecue owner starts a GoFundMe to save her competitor's struggling restaurant.
And we've got some patchy fog out there, and it is going to be another warm and sunny day. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, that warm Christmas weather draws crowds to Pittsburgh parks, why some residents call it a gift.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Friday, December the 26th. Happy Friday to all of you. I see your name was in bold on the teleprompter. You're supposed to emphasize that.
Maybe
anything that's in bold, you know.
That makes me just panic. I'm like, did I accidentally call myself something wrong at the beginning of the show? That they're like, Sam.
Sometimes they'll put things in bold for us if we got it wrong before. They're like, no, it's this. Pay really close attention. I mean, it could have been that, but that's always fun. It's fun. Happy Friday. Hopefully everybody had a good Christmas. We had pretty good Christmases, even though it was very warm outside. But yeah, the kids, like I said, they got to go outside and do whatever so that I could then relax a little bit, and Amber could relax a little bit.
And that was the real Christmas gift for you, wasn't it?
That was kind of a nice one. And they could enjoy their new stuff outside as well. And it's going to continue to stay warm through Sunday. That Sunday things change in a pretty big way. It's a brief change, but it will change. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, we need to get you through your Friday. We're going to start with our live look from downtown Pittsburgh. And we've got clear skies, fairly mild temperatures. Now, some of us out west are a little cooler, but not significantly so. 7th and Range line. Wow, I just fixed the... And you just thought, what is... Okay, I'll figure it out one of these days. That's so bizarre. I don't know why it was so out of focus and then suddenly it wasn't. All right, it's just liking to irritate me. I think, you're gone a couple of days and technology's like, watch what I can do. KDOT camera 69-400 looks good. And one last stop, MoDOT camera 28th and Range line in Joplin looking good as well this morning. The fog tracker, though, not looking so good. Still in some of the same regions we've had the last few days. Dense fog. So we've got Chanute, Independence, half-mile visibility. Now, of course, remember, there's obviously plenty of places in between that are going to be similar, if not lower visibilities. Yates Center, Iola, Parsons, Fredonia, Sedan, Nowata, all some reduced visibilities as well, so do slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. And just be cautious out there and watch out for the potential, of course, for rapidly changing visibilities. We're at 63 in Joplin, 61 in Pittsburgh. And I mentioned we're a little cooler off to the northwest. You're still, Neodesha, you're the cold spot at 46. But right now, that's where our average high should be for this time of year. It's 5:30 in the morning, so obviously it's going to warm up, but that's where we should be. We do have some upper 40s, low 50s off to the west where we have the fog, and as you sink a little further south and east, low mid 60s out there. Looking at calm winds today and mostly clear to clear skies, so just a passing cloud or two here or there, and of course our temperatures warming up once again as well. We'll go low 60s by 9. About 70 by noon. Highs today low to mid 70s, so a little cooler than yesterday. Yesterday we broke the record high set back in 2016, reaching near 80 degrees. So that's just kind of crazy. Few clouds. Clouds increase late this evening. Winds pick up just a wee bit as well. We've got some shower chances. We've got some thunderstorm chances. And we're going to see temperatures take a big dive this weekend. A full look at your forecast in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. The unusually warm Christmas day brought people outdoors to enjoy the park in Pittsburgh. While we're used to bundling up for some outdoor time, some didn't see the need for a coat yesterday. Visitors to Schlinger and Lakeside Parks and said the mild weather made it easier to stop, stretch their legs, and spend that time outside. Yes, some people would prefer a white Christmas, but these folks saw the warmth as a welcome change, allowing them to walk their dogs and enjoy the park. Well, the ACLU of Missouri has filed a lawsuit to stop the use of new congressional maps until voters can decide on a referendum. They say the state and Secretary of State Denny Hoskins ignored over 305,000 signatures demanding voter approval, nearly triple the required amount. The ACLU wants the current map paused for the 2026 elections. But Missouri's Attorney General says it's unclear if enough valid signatures exist to trigger a referendum and that the new maps remain in effect until verified. Well, the restaurant business is tough and competitive, but in Tulsa, Oklahoma, two friends have run their barbecue businesses for decades in harmony. So when one of them hit hard times recently due to factors out of her control, the other jumped to help. Bailey Coyle has the story.
Love for one another.
In 1993, Alameda Hill Stutz opened Stutz Barbecue on Apache. Just 6 months later, longtime friend Maddie Bledsoe Hayes opened Oklahoma-style barbecue on Harvard. From the beginning, the women shared more than a passion for barbecue.
We have a long history. I worked with my aunt and uncle at Pete's Barbecue, and she worked at Wilson Barbecue. And so we come a long ways together.
We've never been competitors, never.
Earlier this year, Stutz saw a drop in business after city street construction directly outside Stutz House of Barbecue started.
After they started working, our lunch hour just went flat. You know, you get a few people come in. I had people complaining they couldn't see how to get in here. Of course, I lost a lot of business.
When Hayes saw what was happening, it hit close to home.
Well, 1995, they came in and redone Harvard. And when they done Harvard, people couldn't get to me. I lost a lot of business.
Remembering her own struggle, Hayes decided to start a GoFundMe, hoping to help Stutz recover lost income and keep a North Tulsa legacy alive.
I didn't tell her what I was doing, but we got a picture. And then I went back and I thought about, I don't know how to do a GoFundMe, but this would be nice if I could do a GoFundMe to try to get her in.
My heart was really touched, and I couldn't believe it.
For Stutz, this is about more than money. At 84 years old, she still comes in every day greeted by familiar faces in a community she loves.
I want to be able to stay open so that people that come here as strangers and leave as friends, they can continue to do that.
Well, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Heating bills jump more than 9% this winter. In Consumer Watch, although it's warm here, millions of Americans are dealing with wintry weather and the home heating bills that go with it. They come on top of paying more for groceries and housing compared to just a few years ago. CBS News correspondent Ashur Qureshi looks at what might be driving up costs and how you can save money.
Bundle up, this winter has already been a cold one and more Frigidaire is on the way. Heating bills are already climbing due to higher demand and delivery costs and surging power usage. Experts predict a more than 9% jump from last year, costing homeowners with electric heat more than $1,200 for the season and natural gas homeowners around $700.
There are ways to lower your energy costs, and it starts with a home audit. To walk us through how that works, we're joined by building consultant Justin Castronova. Justin, where should you start?
The best place to start, Usher, would typically be your doors and windows around the exterior of the home. In this home in particular, we can actually see there's holes here, and you can feel the cold air blowing through these gaps.
Tackle the obvious leaks.
Maintaining your weather stripping, caulking around the inside and outside with the appropriate caulk, because there is different kinds. And then around the outlets, you could spray foam around it after turning off the power, of course. And then they do make gasketed covers with a weather seal to minimize the drafts.
Fireplaces may be festive, but they could cost you.
A fireplace doesn't necessarily always heat your house.
No. Very limited amounts do. Most would lose more heat than it would create.
Another cost-saving upgrade, newer appliances.
And this unit is energy rated.
It's an upfront cost that saves you long-term.
Anywhere from $10 to $50 a month, depending on the size of the appliance and how many you have.
And in older homes, to help bring bills down, just look up.
In this attic in particular, there's not anywhere near enough modern insulation. You have about 1 to 2 inches, and normally I would want to see 1 to 2 feet.
Some utility companies will give you a free home energy audit or even incentives to help you make energy-saving upgrades.
If you're struggling with high energy bills, there are state and federal programs that can help you cut costs. You can also reach out to local nonprofits and your utility company to find out about grants or payment plans. The best way to find out what you qualify for is to dial 211.
Usher Qureshi, CBS News.
That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, again, we've got some patchy fog in parts of southeast Kansas this morning. Outside of that, another very warm and sunny day with big changes in store this weekend. Details when we come back.
Bethlehem in the Holy Land draws thousands of people from around the world this time of year. Many want to see for themselves the birthplace of Jesus, but for many Christians, you don't have to travel that far to see a collection of items related to Jesus' birth and life. As Ag Day's Clinton Griffiths discovers during a visit to the Western Ohio farming community of Maria Stein and a church that pieces of biblical history call home.
Beyond the Tannenbaum and bows, the gifts, the parties, and the baked treats lies the reason for the season. A baby whose story began in a lowly manger, surrounded by livestock inside a stable. That story and pieces of that manger traveling across the centuries and thousands of miles, finding its way here to Western Ohio. How do they even end up in the middle of farm country?
Yeah, that's a good question.
This epic tale begins in Rome, where the Catholic Bishop of Cincinnati petitioned the Vatican to send German-speaking members to Ohio to minister to a growing number of German-speaking Catholics. In 1843, Father Francis de Sales Brunner arrived, and soon after, 3 Sisters of the Precious Blood. By 1846, a convent was built, and their ministry at Maria Stein flourished.
It was a self-sustaining property, so they were out in the fields. They had farm animals they were taking care of. But besides sustaining their needs for themselves, they were looking towards the community to assist too.
At the same time, unrest and wars in Europe led to churches being closed, ransacked, or worse. In order to protect their precious treasures, or relics as they're called, many were sent here.
They wanted to protect them, to keep their purpose of helping people to grow in their prayer. So they'd send them away with those whom they could trust with them.
Official relics come with paperwork and rules that vouch for their authenticity.
And these relics are a connection to these past men and women who've lived throughout history and have given their lives to the Lord.
In this small chapel, there are 1,200 relics, including ornately decorated and preserved pieces of Jesus' manger.
If we look above, on the left-hand side of the main altar, the top window at that center panel on the stand, kind of with the crystals going down from it, on that stand, that reliquary holds a piece of the manger.
Along with ashes from the bones of the 3 wise men.
So that was what it came from, cathedral in Cologne, Germany.
And bones from the innocent babies butchered by King Herod.
He had all the children, I believe 2 and under, killed. What's more precious than a child? Believing that they are also in heaven.
And from birth to death, Splinters of the rugged cross, flanked by angels, adorn the center of the shrine. For years, these relics drew pilgrims to sit in awe and prayer. Today, the lines are shorter, but the needs for ministry remain.
Are you ever surprised or just amazed at the collection and the fact that it's here in Ohio?
Sometimes it's easy to get distracted by other tasks throughout the day, but just always kind of, when you go back and have a moment of silence, just sitting in the presence of some of the Lord's relics and the relics of the saints, the shock of it comes back.
A moment to reflect during the busyness of the season, as pieces of the story stand to tell the tale from these frozen fields in Western Ohio.
Now let's take it over to Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, and we are going to start with our fog tracker this morning, where again, we still have some patchy, dense fog across parts of southeast Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma. We've seen some improvements because we did have from Iola down toward Nowata some very reduced visibilities. Independence still just under a mile, but that's come up a bit. Parsons, Chanute, Fredonia, Yates Center, Iola, Nowata, Sedan with some reduced visibilities out there. So again, if you're traveling, just be cautious. Low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them. And also keep in mind that possibility of rapidly changing visibilities along your route as well, especially again, as we've discussed the last few days, if you're traveling locally. Maybe you stayed the Christmas night with some family or friends and now you're wanting to head home this morning. You need to be cautious again in parts of southeast Kansas. Once we get beyond the fog though, we have another very warm and sunny day. I have just a few passing clouds. The biggest difference for today is simply the change of the wind. It's going to be calm by this afternoon. In fact, it's already starting to ease up now, and it will remain calm through most of the day. It won't be until overnight that we'll see winds shift out of the south at about 5 to 10, so initially not a big deal. Clouds will gradually begin to increase as well. We'll start to go partly cloudy, and then through the day on Saturday, south winds could gust upwards of about 25 to maybe 30 miles an hour. Future track is hinting at some showers a little earlier in the day tomorrow. I do not think that is very likely. I think if we're going to see anything, it's going to be later in the evening. It's going to be very isolated and very brief, but we could see a shower or even a rumble of thunder as we head into the later evening hours on Saturday. It's Sunday that we've got to break down for you, because Sunday is where things really begin to change. So we are going to hit highs on Sunday, probably for some of you down to the southeast, noon, 1 o'clock. Others, you're going to hit your highs in the morning hours, and we're all looking at highs at least upper 60s, low 70s. Again, down south and east might be just a hair warmer. This is a cold front. This cold front is going to cause our temperatures to plummet on Sunday. This isn't going to be a gradual drop behind it. We are talking, you're going to be 68, 69 ahead of this thing, and within an hour or two of it passing, you're probably going to be back down into the 40s, maybe even the upper 30s, and those temperatures will continue to fall. Now, the other thing we're watching is shower and potential thunderstorm chances. It depends on how it all comes together, because here's the thing. You see where the front is? You see where the rain is. The rain's behind that front by quite a distance, actually. So that could impact, how much we see and what we see out there. But some showers and, again, even some thunderstorms later in the evening, especially south of I-44, are a possibility. And we do have a level 1 out of 5 risk for some stronger storms on Sunday evening, which I will show you. The other thing, I know you're seeing it. You see these pinks? That's mixed precipitation. That's a wintry mix. That's some sleet, maybe some light snow, and then this is some light snow. Now, it looks like a lot on future track, doesn't it? It looks like there's just this whole event taking place. That's not going to be the case. Right now, any accumulations we get from a wintry standpoint expected to be less than a dusting, maybe a dusting at best. The biggest concern we're going to have is with the temperatures plummeting, whatever rain we get plus this could make for some very slick conditions from Sunday night into Monday. Quick look at that outlook. Again, tomorrow evening, maybe an isolated storm, and that right now, that level 1 out of 5 just barely clipping us, but it is there for a strong storm or two. For today, again, warm. Skies partly cloudy to start, mostly clear later. 60 to start, near 70 by 11. Our highs today low to mid 70s. Same tomorrow, and then Sunday, upper 60s, low 70s, temperatures plummeting though. Take a look down into the 20s, only about freezing on Monday. That's why we have concerns for slick spots. And then chilly Tuesday, warming up again though next week. Got another look at your forecast right after this. All right, quick forecast wrap up for you again today. Another mild one. In fact, again, yesterday we broke our record high in Joplin set back in 2016 by reaching 79. I think the old record was 76. I have it written down. It was 74, 76, right around there. But either way, we were much warmer than that. Getting close to it again today with some of these temperatures. About 60 to start, near 70 by 11 o'clock this morning. Just a cloud or two here or there, and we'll be into the low to mid 70s today. The nice change, though, is the winds expected to be calm, albeit briefly. Overnight tonight, winds return, but not too bad. Out of the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour, and by late evening, clouds begin to pick back up again or thicken back up again. We'll go partly cloudy, back in right around the mid-50s for our lows tonight. Tomorrow, mid-70s again, mostly cloudy skies. South winds start gusting to 30. Could get in the evening an isolated shower or storm, mainly in our northern counties. Anything we see, very isolated, very brief, but it's a possibility. Still very mild. Saturday night into Sunday as winds begin to really ramp up. Sunday, that cold front comes through, some scattered showers, thunderstorms afternoon, and then could even have a brief transition to some wintry weather late Sunday, but no major accumulations expected. Our biggest concern is with these temperature drops, the possibility of some slick spots Sunday night into Monday. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more after this.